Hey everyone, I'm Joe. Today I'm going to be doing my wrap up for the Tome Infinity and Beyond readathon. This was a readathon that took place from Friday the 7th of September until today, Friday the 21st of September. Now, my TBR video for this, which I'll link in the description box below, because in case you're interested, had quite an ambitious list of books in it. I said I was going to read 9 books. And I suppose technically I have failed the readathon as such because I only read 7 books. But as you may know by now from previous readathons, which I don't do that often, I never care if I don't read all the things I say I'm going to read. This is just encouragement for me to read certain books in a time frame, and I just enjoyed it thoroughly. So really, I may have technically failed it, but I enjoyed all the books I read. Well, mostly. So it has been successful, and I've greatly enjoyed the last 2 weeks. Anyway, I'll get started talking about the books. I won't go too much in depth about any one book because there will still be a normally monthly wrap up at the end of September, so look out for that. Anyway, the first book is Orbital Cloud by Toy Fuji. This is an interesting science fiction book where you have the owner of this small Japanese weather company, which has its own few satellites, notices there is an orbiting cloud, hence the title of the book, of strange objects of some kind in what appears to be sort of synchronous orbit around the Earth, and they shouldn't be there from what he knows, and things start spiraling outwards in a rather dramatic fashion. The book is far more international as far as the cast and sort of scope of it goes. I mean, I honestly didn't expect this. I thought it'd be slightly more Japanese oriented with a certain American link as well, but actually it's not. It's far wider than that. And whilst it's got a slightly different writing style than I'm used to, it really is quite an interesting book. And whilst the writing style, as I said, is different, takes a little bit of getting used to, although not long at all, I really did enjoy it overall, and I'm really glad I read this because this was an excellent book, and I'm really glad I picked it up. The second book was The Drowned World by J.G. Ballard. This is an older science fiction book compared to some of them, which are mostly new. This I thought was more going to be climate change science fiction, and whilst it does feature that as such, I mean, this is a world that has been greatly affected by climate change. England in particular, the UK, has been greatly affected, and London is basically submerged heavily beneath the new ocean level. It's not quite what I thought. It's more character driven than I expected. The characters are rather strange though, and whilst I thought it was an interesting story, I can't say I loved it as much as other Ballard, but so far Ballard has been really successful for me, and it's still successful with this, just in a different way. This was kind of a bit strange, and the direction it took was unexpected. Basically, I think it's more to do with the fact I expected it to be the focus of the book to be different, and it wasn't, so I thought, oh. And it sort of threw me a bit, frankly. But I did enjoy it overall, I just not in the way I expected it to be. The next 2 books that I read were the Lady Astronaut books, which are The Calculating Stars and The Fated Sky, both by Mary Robinette Kowal. For the record, the thing I thought was amusing was about 2 or 3 days after I finished reading The Fated Sky, Mary Robinette Kowal, the author, announced that she had indeed done a deal with Tor, and she will be writing 3 more books set in this world with some of the same characters. There will be 2 of them next year in 2019, and then there will be a 5th book about them. In there could be more for all I know. We're not sure yet. In 2020, I really enjoyed these. These are set in sort of alternative history, 1950s, 1960s, where due to a natural sort of, cataclysm that affects the Earth and affects the United States in particular, the space race is now in a very different way, and this is very much a book where it focuses on sexism, especially within technology, and sexism in general, and also race. Racism is blatant in this book. I mean, it's in the 50s, so racism was horrific and frankly all out of proportion. So this is a book that deals with that and discusses it in a really interesting way, while still being fun and having great main characters, and I'm going to be doing a review of this duology anyway, so I'm not going to say any more now. Next up were the 2 books that I didn't manage to actually read, and those are the Chronicles of the Fallers duology by Peter F. Hamilton. These are The Abyss Beyond Dreams and Night Without Stars. They're both very large books, like 700 page plus, I believe, without having to check. And the only reason I didn't read them is not because I didn't like the books. Obviously, I mean, I haven't read them. I mean, I do like Hamilton the author. I just didn't feel like reading 2 more big books at this moment. I'd read some sort of fairly smaller books by comparison. I've no more than 500. These are noticeably longer, nearly 50% longer than anything else. And I just didn't feel like reading big, heavy books at the moment. I mean, and they are quite wide as well, so they're a little bit awkward to read in some ways. So it's like, just one in the right frame of mind. So I just didn't read them. Next up is the favourite book of this whole video, and that was Autonomous by Annalee Newitz. This is a really interesting and really good science fiction book. It is being linked and being sort of referenced to William Gibson and Neuromancer. You know, people saying, you know, it's like it does the same sort of thing as what Neuromancer did back in the mid 1980s, but for obviously sort of slightly different technology and a slightly different outlook. And I actually do agree with that, because whilst reading it, I did have a feeling of reading William Gibson. I mean, I've read everything by William Gibson, and this does have a certain feel of Gibson about it in a certain way, but it's very distinctive, its own style. Though there's no way is Annalee Newitz copying Gibson. She's not. She's doing her own thing in a really interesting way. Great writing, good characters, and the plot was, again, like a few of the other books, not quite what I thought it was going to be, but still worked out really interesting, and it was an exciting book, and I really did enjoy it. I may well be doing a separate review of this, I'm not sure yet, but I probably will. The penultimate book is the least favourite book of this video, and that is The Rise and Fall of Dio Dio by Neil Stephenson and Nicole Galland. Now, this book I've struggled to get through. Actually, I've only just barely finished reading it as of this morning, an hour or 2 ago, and I have not enjoyed this book at all. The book itself is it's a sort of time travel story where they interfere with the past and it affects the future in ways they're not expecting. And the 2 main characters, one of them is good. This is the female character. The main male character, I hated him, and basically I was hoping he would die a horrible death, frankly, because, to be honest, he's what you would otherwise call an asshole, frankly, and I don't normally use any even mildly bad language, so that's quite a thing for me to say. I really didn't like him at all, and that he spoiled the book for me, because he was a very unpleasant character. I did not like him. I mean, yes, he sort of can, you may say he could redeem himself, but, you know, he starts off bad though, so it's, you can't really come back from that on anything. And the book didn't do well overall because of that. It tainted the book, frankly. And I don't want to be talking about this book anymore, because it was such a chore to read that it was frankly dull. And that's it. And finally, I read The R.U.R. and War with the Newts. Now, I didn't realise that this is actually 2 books in one when I originally bought it. I actually thought that the title would just happen to be like some long title. It's actually not. or Rossum's Universal Robots is actually a strange book because it's actually a written play. This is a story or play that Isaac Asimov credited as giving him inspiration for writing his robot novels, and indeed this is credited as being the first novel that anybody is aware of that used the term robot in fiction. So this is a very interesting and powerful novel, and I really enjoyed it. The second novel, War with the Newts, I didn't enjoy. It was just strange. I mean, it had its moments and it had some interesting elements, but it was sort of strange. And the basis of it is that these sort of newt creatures, and they're able to work and do work underwater, and we sort of manipulate them and abuse them in that way. And it's a series of accounts of them from different points, multiple different points of view, where they only got like small links, like vignettes, and it's a strange book. And I mean, I'm glad I read it because it's an interesting contrast with Rare, but I wouldn't read it again. Rare I would read it again. I just wouldn't bother with War of the Nukes again because it was a bit too strange for my liking, which is quite an achievement considering, if you know by now, I do like my strange and weird ideas in books. So with that said, that's actually it for the books I've read during the readathon, or the 2 books that I failed to read in this readathon. If you've read any of these or would like to, then please leave a comment. All my social media links, as well as the 2 links to the person who created this readathon, will be in the description box below. With that said, that is it for this video. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you another day. Bye for now.